Hey everyone, Craig here from Bass Lessons Melbourne. I'm down at Mannys Music today and we're checking out the brand new Darkglass Microtubes X900. This is a limited edition amp that basically combines parallel processing of the Darkglass X series pedals and the Microtubes 900 amp. What that does is it gives you the ability to apply a high pass filter to your drive sound and a low pass filter to your clean sound, then mix them together for the ultimate tone. At the moment, with the knob at noon, it sounds like this. Quite fizzy and dirty. As I crank it round, the sound will start to tighten up a bit. All the way around, we get this sound. Then we can do the same thing with the clean section of the circuit. So again, the knob's currently at noon. The more I increase it, the tighter the sound will get. All the way around. So it's a much more focused, compressed sound. You can compensate for that by dialing in a little bit more of the drive circuit. So I've not had too long with the amp, but so far it's been great fun finding sweet spots with all those different filters and EQ settings and mixing it all to taste. Here's a few riffs and tones that I've come up with over the last few days. So for that sound there, I was going for a big fat rock tone. The high pass filter about halfway in the drive circuit, so more of the sound is getting distorted. Healthy amount of drive, and then mix at about 11 o'clock. And then I got it set up so the compressor is just kicking in to catch those big peaks in the low notes. And then I've got the graphic EQ with that classic smiley face for the rock sound. So for that sound there, I'm using a P bass that's in drop D tuning. So to compensate for the big bottom end that's coming out from that drop E string, I've tightened up the drive control a little bit and also tightened up the compressor settings there. The graphic EQ stayed the same as before. So for that track there, I used this Ibanez EHB 5-string fan fret bass that's loaded with Bartolini pickups. And in the X engine of the amp, I wanted to go for more of a modern metal sound, but still keep it nice and punchy and thick so that I cut through the mix. I've got the high pass filter all the way around on the drive circuit. So I'm kind of really only crunching up that mid to top end of the signal. And then in the clean circuit, I've got the low pass filter cranked all the way around to ensure I'm getting a nice, tight, punchy sound. And then I brought up some of the mids and high-end frequencies on the graphic EQ. Alright, so that track there, I was going for a much more aggressive, in-your-face, punchy kind of thrash sound. On the amp, I've got the X engine engaged, obviously, and tightened up the drive setting, but I've also increased the amount of drive that's happening in that top end, so it kind of get a little bit more aggression in it, I suppose. And then in the compression side of things, dialed back the amount of compression a bit, but tightened up the low-pass filter in there. And then I brought up some of the highs and the mids in that one to give it a nice mid-range bite. Finally, let's bypass the X engine and check out a clean tone on this lovely Player Plus precision bass. So as you can see, the X900 is certainly no slouch in the clean tone department. For that track there, I was going for more of a kind of old school R&B vibe. So tone-wise, I disengaged the X engine side of the amp. We're just going through the graphic EQ. I turned off the compressor as well. So bumped up the low end a little bit, scooped out some of the high mid, and what you're left with is just a classic P-bass tone. The connections on the back of the unit are identical to the standard Microtubes 900. You've got the FOOTSWITCH and MIDI control, inbuilt cab sims, of which you get 3, headphone out, aux in, and 2 DIs. Now the idea with the 2 DI XLR outputs, one is a dedicated clean sound, so no matter what's happening on the amp, you've always got your clean tone. And then the other one has the cab sim applied to it and all the X engine and EQ controls. I mean, that's just so good for recording and for gigs. So all in all, the X900 is a super versatile, powerful amp. Obviously, it excels at what Darkglass are known for in this market, and that's killer drive sounds. But you can also dial it back and get some nice crunchy sounds, or even, really nice clean sounds. Having that dedicated X engine for all your killer drive tones, and then a really versatile, nice sounding graphic EQ and compressor for your clean sounds is kind of the best of both worlds. It just makes it such a killer amp for studio and live use. Alright, so that's a wrap for today. These are available to order now from Mannys, and I urge you to get in quickly if you like what you hear, because there's only 500 of these being made worldwide. Thanks for watching, my name's Craig, and I'll see you next time.